Hello and welcome to another quick crop video. Well, today we're going to look at our carrot plants here, which I've sown maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago, I think it was. But I'm also going to use the video just to introduce our new Mainframe crop protection system, but we'll come back to that later. I'm going to start off just by thinning out my carrots, as I said. So come down here and I'm just going to show you what we need to do. Carrot seeds are actually quite small, so they can be difficult to sow in the required spacing of about 3 or 4 inches between each carrot. Now at this point we then have too many seedlings, so we have to take some out, otherwise the carrots are going to become crowded, they're going to coil around each other and you're not going to get the lovely straight carrots that you're looking for. Now, thinning out carrots is really very simple. All we're doing is pulling up any plant that we don't want to leave the right distance between the ones that are left. Now, this does depend a little bit on what sort of soil you have. I've got a really nice light peaty soil here, and that's actually really easy for the carrots to kind of push that apart as they're growing. So I get away with a slightly tighter spacing, and I'm going to put them maybe 2.5, 3 inches even between each finished carrot. Now, if you have a heavier clay soil, then you're probably better off going for the recommended 4 inches just to give them room to breathe there. So I'm just going to start selecting the unfortunates who we're going to remove, and you literally just gently pull them up. And we can see here already they're starting to produce a little baby carrot. Now I can cut these off and use them in the kitchen. They're going to be really delicious. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start thinning out this row. The issue we have when we're thinning out our carrots is it actually produces a smell which you won't smell, but the carrot root fly will, and that attracts her to lay eggs around the base of your rows of carrots. Those eggs will hatch into little grubs which actually burrow into the roots of your carrots and spoil them. So what we want to do is do our thinning over one sitting, if you like, get it all over with at once. And this is because prolonged disturbance of the foliage is going to attract the fly and you've much more chance of damage. So what I like to do is cover my carrots when I'm finished with an insect protection mesh, and that brings us really neatly to the next part of this video. The Mainframe, as the name suggests, is a frame, and it's basically made up of these thick-walled aluminium tubes, and they're joined together using these molded plastic corner pieces, and it's a really tight fit. What the manufacturers actually recommend is that you don't twist them on, you just hammer them on with something suitable like this rubber mallet here. What I really like about this system are these little plastic clips that hold the cover on, and they just go on so easily, they don't damage the cover in any way, and then they're quick and easy to take off if I wanted to put on a different covering or I wanted to replace it for any reason. So really quick and handy to do. As you saw when we were thinning, we actually have quite a big row of carrots. It's about 12 foot long, so I've had to make quite a big structure here, and it's a little bit big for me to move on my own and show you how we do it, but I'm literally just going to lift it up with a bit of help and put it onto our row of carrots. So that's it, that's our Mainframe in place, and that's our carrot crop completely protected. Now, if you are going to go to the trouble of building a system like this, just check around the bottom edge for any gaps that the carrot fly might be able to get in, and just mound up soil along the edge there just to fill up any openings. Okay, I'm going to leave my Mainframe in place, but if I need to do any more work on my carrots, as I showed you earlier, I just need to remove these little clips. I can remove a portion of my mesh if I need to thin out or when I'm finally harvesting my carrot crop, and then close it up nice and safe, quickly and easily. Now, our Mainframe system really is so versatile. We have a 2 foot high here because it's about right for a carrot crop, but I could build it as high as 6 foot, maybe for something as large as my raspberries here in the background, or I can go down about 1 foot off the ground. I could cover that in a polythene, and I can use that to warm the soil and to bring on seedlings in spring, so a little bit like a mini polytunnel. Now, remember our Mainframe system, carrot seed, raspberries, pretty much anything you need for your vegetable garden, they're all available on our websites, quickcrop.ie and quickcrop.co.uk. I look forward to seeing you again in the garden next time.